John Boyle O'Reilly, Irish and American Patriot, episode 206. I am Rod Murphy, and this is Growing Up Poor in Irish Boston, a series of my 1950s era Irish and Boston songs, poems, history, jokes, and stories. John Boyle O'Reilly, born in 1844, was an Irish poet, a journalist, a novelist, and a nationalist activist who became a leading voice of the Irish American community in Boston and nationally. His name was very often reverently used by my father and other Boston area Irish folks that I knew. He was very popular among the Irish Diaspora. Born in Dorth, County Meath, Ireland, he was the son of William O'Reilly, who was a schoolmaster, and Mary Boyle. He apprenticed as a compositor and reporter on the newspaper Drogheda Argus, and later worked on another newspaper, the Preston Guardian, in England. In 1863, he returned to Ireland and enlisted in the 10th Hussars, which was a British cavalry regiment. While serving, he joined the Irish Republican Brotherhood, the Fenians, and began to recruit fellow soldiers for the Irish freedom cause. Because of this recruitment, he was arrested and court-martialed for treason in 1866. That was a death sentence. It was commuted to 20 years penal servitude, and he was transported to Western Australia on the last convict ship to Australia, the Hougoumont. Pardon this short break. I hope you are enjoying my Growing Up Poor in Irish Boston podcast. If you like this episode, please subscribe. It's free and helps to get my messages to more folks. And now back to the John Boyle O'Reilly episode. In 1869, he escaped from the Australian penal colony with help from both a local Catholic priest and an American whaler ship's captain. The whaler was called the Gazelle. After a long ocean voyage, he reached the United States, first Philadelphia and finally Boston, where other Irish patriots were plentiful. He quickly got back into journalism, joining the influential Irish Catholic newspaper, The Pilot. He rose to editor and then became co-owner in 1876. The newspaper grew and expanded its national reach among Irish immigrants. He used the paper to support Irish Home Rule, the Land League, and to defend Irish and immigrant interests. Also using the newspaper, he advocated for labor and spoke out for African American rights and against prejudice. He also assisted in planning the 1876 Catalpa rescue of Fenian prisoners from Western Australia. O'Reilly was a poet and published 4 volumes of poetry: Songs from the Southern Seas in 1873, Songs, Legends, and Ballads in 1878, The Statues in the Block in 1881, and In Bohemia in 1886. He also wrote the novel Moondyne, drawn from his Australian experiences, and co-authored The King's Men in 1884. And he also wrote Ethics of Boxing and Manly Sport in 1888. As you can see, he was a prodigious writer. In his time, he was one of America's better-known literary figures and a prominent public speaker. He received many honorary degrees and was friends with other writers such as Walt Whitman. He had the good sense to marry a Murphy in 1872. Mary Murphy was also a journalist. They had 4 daughters. John Boyle O'Reilly died at his summer home in Hull, Massachusetts, from an accidental overdose of chloral hydrate taken for insomnia. He was buried in the Holyhood Cemetery in Brookline, Massachusetts, where my grandfather is buried. An O'Reilly Memorial by famous sculptor Daniel Chester French stands on the Fenway in Boston. There are some New England Irish clubs named for him. The John Boyle O'Reilly Irish Club in Springfield, Mass. was the location for my children's step dancing lessons years ago. He is remembered as a Fenian turned constitutional nationalist, a bridge between Irish revolutionary and an American with democratic traditions, and a champion of the underdog in the Gilded Age of Boston. Signed, sealed, and delivered.